The following program is brought to you in part by Time Warner Cable and the Madison County School System.
Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television, here today with head coach John Clark.
And I'm here to tell you to watch Madison County School Sports Television.
This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goebel in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. This program is sponsored by First Gear in downtown Richmond and Pro Signs in Southern Hills Plaza.
Let it snow. Well, it doesn't show signs of stopping, but God.
Welcome to the Coach John Clark Show.
The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford. We are here at Jack Burford Chevrolet, once again, proud sponsor of our John Clark Show, and we want to thank them. And this will be our last show this season.
It will, yeah.
Sad. It
is.
It's round ball time.
But no, it's always oblong ball time. But no, the good thing is it's around Thanksgiving and not Halloween, so that's a good sign.
True.
That's a good sign.
True. Listen, so. I want to congratulate you. I know you probably are down after Friday night, but what a great season you've had.
It's been a great year. I couldn't be more proud of our team. A lot of accomplishments. This team was, the motto was a season of firsts, as I think we talked about back at the beginning of the shows, and they accomplished a lot of firsts, and they did an outstanding job. And it's one thing when you lose your final. Everybody loses their last game, unless one team. Everybody but one team loses their last game.
Right.
So there's several ways you can do that. You can lose it and be disappointed, or you can lose it knowing, looking back on it, that you did your all and you played your hearts out and you lost. You can either lose the game or they can win the game. Mm-hmm. I felt like Pulaski won the game. I didn't really feel like our kids lost the game. We played our hearts out. We played a hard-fought football game, and I think we left it on the field.
Well, and I think the weather in the field was really a challenge, correct?
It was. My boots are probably ruined. It was the muddiest, worst field conditions I've ever been in.
Right.
When we're talking about mud, we're not talking about a little bit of mud. We're talking about 2 inches of like soupy, watery.
Yeah.
It was awful. There wasn't grass anywhere on the field. Nobody could keep their footing. And it didn't really favor our explosiveness by any means. We struggled with it. And our footballs are ruined too. It was a pretty rough. Our jerseys are ruined. They're yellow. We've washed them multiple times. We can't get it out of them.
I was going to ask
bad.
that. That might be a good reason for you to go to your athletic director and say, hey, we need some new uniforms.
It's a great reason
now.
for us to go to all the people of Madison County and say, help us get new uniforms, because there is no money in the athletic department.
Do you not get new uniforms every 5 years? Or
No, there's no budget. We get zero budget given to us from the school. So we have to raise our own money. 100% of our budget is raised. So
those coming to the football team next year know that they're going to have to spend a little extra to get some new uniforms.
And we raise it. It's a deal where we don't, they pay for a little bit of stuff, but, their cleats, their personal items that they keep. But we raise the money for the program. And when you're looking at 100 kids in your team, we're at the point where we need new uniforms anyway. In the third year, they're tearing. And Damien's been in 33 all year because 34 is ripped, and they've discontinued the jerseys that we have.
Yeah.
So we can't just go order new ones. So it'll cost $9,000-$10,000 to replace our uniforms.
Yeah. We were at the game when his number switched. We were like, what
you guys thought that was a trick.
We were like, is that a trick he's playing?
That was a chunk
team?
taken out of it. So, but there's a lot of guys in that scenario. So season's over. We go into fundraising mode. So get your wallets ready, Madison County. Here we come.
Yeah, here we come. And what a perfect season to be going and asking for money. I mean, it's never fun to ask for money.
Well, we don't have a choice.
But,
if our community likes what was on the field and they want to continue to see that, we've got to raise money. And we need more support from the community now, because we've had some. We have not had enough. It's been hard.
Yeah. You've got the best fans.
And we've got a group of 42 freshmen coming in. That's a lot more than 25.
Number is bigger than usual, right?
This is, last year, we've had 2 middle schools for a little while now, but now we're getting to the point where there's full classes coming out of 2 different middle schools. We've never had that before.
Right.
This 8th grade group coming in, not only are they going to be special, but there's a lot of them, and we need to give them all the opportunity to play.
Let me ask you one more question real quick about the weather. Were you at all worried with the muddy conditions about their safety?
Well, I was worried throughout the game about some things. Like, they were cracking our defensive end, and in those kind of conditions, I talked to the officials multiple times about that's how people get knees blown out.
Right.
When a receiver comes back and cracks against the ball. Not technically a legal block anyway, but in those conditions, those are concerning. They cut us a couple times on kickoff. And, you could argue whether they were cutting us or whether they were slipping and falling into our legs. But it is what it is. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to not play the game?
Right.
So, in a perfect world, I think that's something the KHSA needs to examine, because the conditions of the field absolutely did affect the football game.
Yeah.
It was not a neutral playing environment by any means.
Yeah.
But, I can't sit here and say it cost us the game, because they had to play in it too. I think it favored them a little bit because we're more – I feel like we have a lot of explosive, heavier guys, and it's harder for a guy that bursts, such as a Damien, a Kamani Bruce, and Andrew DeVere, some of our more explosive individuals that weigh over 200 pounds.
To get any kind of traction.
Couldn't get that grip off that burst, and that affects it big time.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about your seniors? I'm going to let you kind of lead us today.
I think that'd be great. Our seniors had an outstanding run. We've talked about a little bit. They're a group that not all of them were here when we got here. There's been some move-ins and some new guys.
And you've been here 3 years.
This is the end of year 3. When we came in, the group that was in the building as freshmen, there were about 6 to 8 of them that played varsity as freshmen, because there were only 27 of them on the team roughly.
Right.
They finished 1-10, and here they turn around and they go 10-2, and this is tied for the best record in Madison Southern football history. And that's a pretty neat accomplishment. And
you got to feel good about that.
And these guys are littered all over the record books. They've done some great things. I looked at statistics today. We've kind of compiled everything. Tyler Hagan will leave Madison Southern as the all-time leading tackler in school history. He has the most tackles in a season, the most sacks in a career, the most tackles in a career.
Right.
It's an amazing accomplishment. That guy, he's got a record in place now that I think it'll take a long time for it to be touched.
Right.
4 years of production,
That's
the
big.
way he has is huge. Derek Howard's numbers in the weight room will be hard to touch.
Yeah.
That's a young man that squats 550 pounds full squat. We're not talking a 90-degree parallel squat. This is a full squat.
Right.
There's just been some amazing
impressive.
things that have happened with this group.
They're just so determined.
They have been. And they did a lot of this in spite of everybody telling them they couldn't do it. They heard for years. One of the first things we noticed when we came to Southern was
And when you say we, let's...
My staff.
Right.
Yeah, my staff.
wanna
One of the
make
first
sure.
myself and Jimmy Skinner were the first two kind of on board, and then Coach Colbert and Coach Belt, and then bringing in Coach Kling, and then Coach Smoot. And one of the biggest things that we noticed right away was all these guys are told is what they can't do and what's not possible. Nobody's ever showed them what is possible and what can be done with a little hard work and determination.
Right.
And that's what we really did when we got here, is we changed that focus from what you can't do to what's possible.
Right. Well, and I have said this many shows that we have done this season, you and your whole staff seem to be very positive and very uplifting and motivating.
I've got to laugh when you say that, because
do they
I don't
not
know if the
agree?
players all think that.
Yeah.
No, but they are. There's no
Yeah.
question we are. I mean, there's no question. We've got, your coaches, you have your grumpy days and whatnot, but as a staff as a whole, this is the most positive group I've ever worked with.
Right.
We don't sit around and focus on the problems we have. Yeah, I just told you, we're not given a budget from the school. A lot of
Right.
people think we're handed all this money.
But instead
We
of
raise
dwelling
it.
on it and
Yeah,
complaining,
we go
let's
and find
figure out
solutions.
a way to make it
That's
right.
exactly
and to
right.
get
We
new
know the
results.
problems. Let's find out ways
How
to
we can
fix them
fix
and
it.
get them done.
Right.
That's exactly right. And that's the way we
That's
approach
great.
things.
Right. Well, let's take a quick break, if you don't mind, and we'll be right back. And we do have a surprise for the show today.
Special guest. I was glad to bring him with me.
Guest.
It's a homecoming.
Are we
kind
going to
of-
wait until we come back from break to announce it? We'll keep them guessing.
Yeah, I think it's a
All
good
right.
idea.
We'll be right back with the Coach John Clark Show.
This program is sponsored by Jack Burford Chevrolet, right here in Richmond. And by Clayton Homes in Richmond on Big Hill Avenue. You're watching Madison County School Sports Television, home of the greatest announcers around. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hello everybody, I'm David Sullivan for Rosenbaum Communications. Rosenbaum Communications is a full-service television production and media company. We've produced projects and provided services all over the world for such clients as ABC Sports, NBC Sports, CBS, ESPN, Amway International, Time Warner, and many regional and local clients such as East Kentucky Power, Center College, Georgetown College, KET, the Kentucky Coal Association, Keeneland, and the Kentucky School Board Association, and many, many more. Give Rosenbaum Communications a call and let us quote and plan your next media project. No project is too small. Our client list may be impressive, but our service is very personal and budget friendly. Visit our website at rosenbaumcommunications.com. Let us show you how to get started. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford. Once again, we're here at Jack Burford Chevrolet. I do want to remind everyone that they can watch the game that we're getting ready to talk about, the big championship game. You can watch it on MadisonCountySchoolSports.com.
Good luck finding out who has what number on, because you can't see a single number by halfway through the first quarter.
Because it's all messy.
It was
Messy, dirty, nasty. I'm glad I don't have a son that plays football. Although I'd want him to play for you. How about that? That's good, right? That's good. There we go. So let's talk about this. Was such an incredible game, and it's a championship game. First one in the school's history?
Well, no, Southern played for the region in 1996.
96,
Lost to Bell County, was up at halftime, I think 21-0 potentially. But this was the second time. I mean, a lot of our guys were born that year that it happened. So that tells you how long it's been.
When you put it in that perspective,
yeah,
it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So Pulaski County, they won 32-28.
We've lost two games this year, and two games
year.
To an undefeated team. I mean,
right.
I don't care who you are or what you do. When you look at that, there's a reason they're undefeated. I told our boys Monday, yesterday was we kind of do an exit meeting and collect stuff, and I told our boys I've been doing this a long time as a player and as a coach on a lot of levels. You know, I was part of an Auburn team that was ranked 4th in the nation at one point and played in the Cotton Bowl. I've never been, ever. I won a state championship at a high school in Indianapolis. We were ranked top 15 in the country. I've never been on a 13-0 football team, ever. It's not something that you do by being lucky. You don't go 13-0 by luck. You've got to have some ability mixed with some luck, mixed with just things going your way. But you've got to be a good team.
Players all have to be healthy.
You've got to be a very balanced program.
Right.
So to lose to a team twice in a year by a total of 7 points that is sitting there 13-0 is nothing to hang your heads about.
No.
It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
And I talked to our boys about that. They may not realize that, because as they go down the road, how many teams will they ever cross in their paths again that do that? It's something they'll learn over time probably, but you know, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and we've given them the best 2 games they've had all year.
Right.
And we've taken them down to the wire in every game. We were up by 10 at one point in the first half of this football game. We came out, we punted early on. John Lamb did a great job punting early in the game. We had a stop in there. They went down and scored. We answered back. We decided to go for 2 before the game. The conditions on the field were so bad. We made the decision as a staff. I met with our senior captains, and I said, we feel as a staff we want to go for 2 throughout this game. But if we do this, we're doing it all the way. We're not going to, if the game's tied at the end of the game and it's on the line, we're going for 2. This is not going to be something we change our mind on. So to me, decisions like that could affect an outcome of the game, it's important that you talk to your senior leaders about it as well, because I want to make sure they're on board with them.
They're the ones performing.
No
have
question.
To be comfortable
no
with
question.
It.
And everybody was okay with it and felt great about it. So we made that decision.
Well, and you've done it you've done it many games.
And I think it was a great decision for us.
Yeah.
We had success going for 2 throughout the game. You know, so I think it was a great decision. Didn't come back to haunt us, you know, but you know, we were up by 10 at one point in the first quarter.
I know.
We knew that wouldn't last. This isn't a team you're going to just start to roll on. You know, we knew they'd have success. They put together about a 20-play drive, just methodically, and they ran the ball inside on us all night. You know, and the difference is they spread you out and they run the football. They're more of a run team than people realize. They're very balanced. The difference was we weren't good in space, and the field conditions did not favor us in that regard. Missed a lot of tackles in space. We had trouble closing on. You know, when you're spread out and trying to run at the guy that's got the ball, it's tough. It's tough in those conditions. You know, our offense isn't designed to do that. We don't spread people out to run the ball. So our run game is lateral. It's outside and inside. Outside, inside. We get you running outside, we hit you inside. We run inside, get you going inside, we run outside. We lost our outside run game with the field conditions. Our backs could not get to the edge and stick their foot in the ground and get vertical on our what is called outside zone.
Right.
It's a stretch play. Everybody thinks we just run toss all night. It's not toss. It's actually schemed to an outside zone concept. But our backs kept coming off the field. Coach, it's there. I can't get into the crease because I can't burst.
Right.
That's always been benefit, Damian obviously is extremely explosive. Casey Dion's an explosive runner. Alex Lane, Tyler Hagan, all of our backs are explosive. So to lose that affected us. We went in at halftime up 22-20. That was huge for us.
Yes.
That was the first time I think they'd gone into half down all year. We went.
I would guess so, because their last game they had blown out the other
and it's been that way all year.
Yeah.
From our perspective, we've talked to our boys about to win the region from the start of the playoffs. You had to win 12 quarters, and we've gone a half at a time. We were up on we were up on Letcher at the half. We won the first half, won the second half. We were up on Harlan at the half, won the first half, won the second half. We were up on Pulaski at the half. We had to win the second half, and we didn't. I mean, we didn't play bad. They made plays when they needed them.
Right.
They made the plays they needed to play. We put ourselves in 1st and 15, 2nd and 15 with false start penalties too many times in the first half. We had a bad snap over the punter's head that really affected our field position on one series. And the combination of those things, we ended up in some long scenarios. We were running the ball well, but we couldn't throw in the second half. Our balls were waterlogged and muddy, and we couldn't grip them. Our center, if you watch if anybody goes back and watches the game, he's snapping with two hands in the second half because he couldn't grip the ball. He hasn't done that all year.
Right.
You have to do what you have to do.
A lot of adjustments.
Yeah, it affected us, no question.
Yeah. So at halftime, what did you say? I mean, when you go up with the lead like that, and you, like you said, you knew it was gonna stay close. I mean,
I reminded our guys that the people in the locker room next to you have not lost a game all year, and you're going to get every single ounce of effort they have in their bodies. They don't lose.
Right.
So they're going to refuse to lose this half. They're going to do whatever it takes. If they have to hold, if they have to hit you late, they're going to do whatever it takes to scrap and claw and fight to win this game.
Right.
How far are you willing to go? What are you willing to do to try to win the game?
right.
And I don't think it was a lack of effort on our part. They made more plays than we did.
And the momentum definitely shifted their way.
It did.
Yeah.
They came out at half and they scored right away.
Yes.
Our first play in the second half ended up being about a 5-yard loss in the run game. It wasn't a bad play. It was a play that we were having success with. They ran the right blitz the right time and hit us in the backfield. It just happens sometimes when you play a good team.
Yeah.
So, and we just weren't designed. We dropped a few balls in the second half in the pass game. We threw a couple bad balls, balls slipping out of the hand. We felt like we really practiced our pass game going into this. We felt like we can get their safeties downhill, throw over the top of them. Their safeties were absolutely downhill. We lost the ability to throw over top of them as the game went on, and we knew that.
Yeah.
And we just decided we're going to have to try to grind this one out on the ground, and we had too many mistakes penalty-wise that put us in bad positions.
So in the fourth quarter, you had to get your hopes up. I mean, after Harris scored that touchdown.
Well, we did. We scored, and we knew, what game have you ever watched where we don't get a big play here and there?
Yes.
So we knew they were coming. We had one from Damian that scored.
You were due.
We had one from Casey.
Yes.
We went down and we held them, and they punted to us. And Casey, he had a huge play to get us down to about the 15-yard line. That was a 4th and 2 power play. Huge off tackle run. Great blocking up front. Good hard run. He ran out of gas. It's the guy that's played both ways the whole game. He's only missed about 4 snaps. He rushed it was his career high game. He rushed for, I think, 130 yards. Most carries he's ever had in a game as well, and 2 touchdowns, I think 15, 18 carries. He did outstanding. Damian finished with 20 carries for about 151 yards. You put those together, that's almost 300 yards rushing between 2 guys. That's a phenomenal effort.
It's incredible.
But
it's so exciting for a championship game. I mean,
it
that's
is.
the way it should be.
We get down to the 10-yard line. The next play, we trade the tight end. We do what we call trade, where our tight end will start on one side and move to the other. Well, our tackle jumps. Well, back us up 5 yards. Now we're at 1st and 15.
Right. Big
1st and
difference.
15 is a huge difference. So we ended up with 4th and 8 on that series. 4th and 8, about 3 minutes left to go in the game, 4 minutes or so. 4th and 8, we chose to throw. We play action, try to throw a wheel to Damian. Looking back on film, probably would have gotten the first down. Ball slipped out of the quarterback's hand. It happens. And you can't blame the kid. I mean,
No.
If you saw our balls, you'd know why it slipped.
Heavy, slippery.
Take away that 5-yard penalty, 4th and 8 becomes 4th and 3.
Yeah.
Well, we could get 3 yards all night when we needed it. So 4th and 3, the play calling is a lot different than it is in 4th and 8 in that situation. But I felt good about the play we called, and it was there. It just wasn't executed. It wasn't executed because of error. It was executed because of conditions, and that happens. But defense comes out. They punt back to us. Damian tried to field the punt. He couldn't get his feet under him. Ball hit the ground and gave about 15 more yards back the other way. That affected us. I was frustrated that we didn't field that punt, but you go back and watch film, you know why. He couldn't run to the ball and stop to catch it. He's sliding all over the place. So he risked a fumble, so he chose to let it go, which is a smart play now. We're not a team that's designed to go 15 passes in a row down the field after that. Now, we have a no-huddle offense. We did not feel it was conducive with the situation, given the ball and everything. So we chose to get into some of our wildcat. We threw a couple times, got into our Michigan package and let him run a little bit, picked up a couple first downs. But in the end, we didn't pick up the ones we needed. There was a couple bad exchanges in that with the conditions, and it was what it was.
Was what it was.
Yeah.
And you still have to be excited. And I'm happy that you're willing to talk about it, because some coaches might be like, we lost that championship game.
I mean, I felt like we fought our butts off,
yeah.
and looking back at the game, I think we called a good game. I think the kids played well. We struggled conditions-wise. We tried to call some deep routes later in the game. Receivers couldn't get out of their breaks to get deep. We struggled. Okay. We struggled.
Well, let's take another break, and when we come back, we'll talk to our special guest.
You are in for a treat.
Yeah. How about that? All right, we'll be right back with the Coach John Clark Show.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube. This program is brought to you by Hopper's Jewelry, off the EKU Bypass in Richmond.
Natural hazards can be scary, especially for kids. We count on the adults in our lives to help keep us safe. That's why there's a website that can show you and your family how to prepare for all kinds of hazards. You can learn what to do during disasters, like tornadoes, and how to plan for emergencies, like flash floods. Remember, we're counting on you to keep us safe.
Be aware. Learn how to prepare at MadisonCountyEMA.net.
Another great sponsor for Madison County School Sports Television is Madison HVAC. Visit them at MadisonHVACR.com. By calling Madison HVAC, you always know you'll talk to the owner. Give them a call. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and we have a special guest. Yay! I wish, we need you guys all, clapping. Yay!
Yeah.
So, We are happy to have Devontae Linville with us.
It's nice to be
A
here.
man of many hats.
Yes.
So, listen, let's talk about what all you played this season. Well, you started at?
I started at quarterback my sophomore year, and then my junior year I moved to receiver, and then because we lost a good quarterback last year, I'd moved back to quarterback. But then luckily we got a transfer in from Central, Aaron Sloan, so I got the opportunity to move back to receiver, back to the place.
So what's your favorite?
Receiver by far.
So you enjoy that?
Yes, I do.
So you're glad to have Aaron there, and that
Oh
way
yeah,
you
it was
can,
it was a great experience having a young quarterback, and it was fun.
So tell us, what's your favorite part of this season? There's got to be more than one.
Yeah, there's so many memories.
Would it be this championship game? I mean,
I think it's all the life lessons I've learned throughout. We do a leadership program, our team does, and our coaches have taught us how to become young men of character, and definitely the virtues we go through. We have a virtue of the week every week, and we go through each one every week, and it always happens to tie in with the game we're playing. I don't know how it does it. I don't know how he does it, but it always ties in with the game we're playing.
He does it, and we go over your word of the week, and we just talk about that on his show every week.
Yeah, and it was definitely impacted. I know it had to impact the rest of the team.
Right. So would you think the same that Coach Clark just told us a minute ago, that your group of seniors really stepped up this year and made such an impact on this team? You have to be happy and proud to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, we weren't the vocal group like most seniors are.
Most seniors are.
Yeah, we were the group that led by example.
Yeah.
Last year's group was a very vocal group. They'd get in your grill and they'd yell at you if you did something wrong. But this year we kind of took the opposite road. We kind of led by example. I mean, if we had to jump you, we'd have to, but it wasn't a all the time thing.
Was this where you group of seniors got together and said, this is how we're going to do it, or is it just your name?
I think it's just our personalities.
Okay.
We have a few that will jump people, but most of us are kind of laid back, not really vocal people.
Okay. Well, that's all right.
Yeah, it is.
The thing is, you got the job done.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
So now you're moving into basketball season, right?
It was a big exchange from going to football and basketball. Totally out of shape, not ready for it.
Not ready for it as much. Well, but if you're a receiver, you're still running. I mean, but it's different, isn't it? Yeah. So we can't really. I guess I can ask you. You can whisper it, but do you like football or basketball?
Oh,
better?
football.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
So you're gonna miss it.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm gonna miss football.
Yeah. Now you open up here. What, next week with?
Yeah, we play next Tuesday.
Southern plays Central.
Yeah, at Southern.
So
big game.
How's that gonna go? I mean, what do you think?
We're both young teams, very young. Both are gonna have all 5 starters are gonna be brand new. So it's going to be...
So you're not nervous that they just won the state championship?
No.
I mean, because it's a whole new team.
Yeah, because they had 5 seniors starting. We had 4, and then Damien's not going to play basketball this year because...
Oh, he's not? Okay.
Yes, because of the whole committing thing, which is totally understandable. Won't want him to get hurt. So we're going to have 5 new starters, and they're going to have 5 new starters. So it's going to be... It'll be a good game.
A new matchup.
Yes.
Well, good. Let's talk a little more about football. And do you want to, since that is your favorite, do you want to play in college somewhere?
Yes, I do. I haven't decided where I'm going to go, but I have a few options, and I'm looking forward to see where it leads me.
So you've got some potential places that you're talking about.
Yes.
None you can officially tell the media.
Yes.
But
Yes.
So they're recruiting you, I guess we could say.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite?
Not right now. I mean,
Or do other people have favorites, or do you have and have you been already to see them?
I've seen a lot of schools. I've narrowed it down to a list of about 3.
Okay.
But I'm excited to see how it turns out.
When will you make the big announcement?
I'm hoping to make it by either February, March time frame.
All right, excellent. So that'll be the end of basketball season.
Yes.
So perfect. You'll get 2 sports over with. Now, do you go into baseball?
No.
No. All right. I figured as athletic as you are, you probably just play every sport at Southern.
No.
I would say you're every coach's dream, I would guess.
I hope so.
Good, good. Now, are you at all embarrassed? This is the Madison Southern homecoming king. So does that, you're getting all blushed up, or?
It was a great experience running for a homecoming. I didn't think I was going to win at all.
You didn't?
No,
So you're very surprised.
I had no idea. I was sitting there, and one of my best friends standing next to me, Austin Sipple, and they're announcing it, and I'm like, this is Austin. This is gonna be Austin. And then I put my head down. I started telling my mom about I started with the Pulaski game. We were playing Pulaski.
Yeah.
And Austin goes, Devontae, they just called your name. And I was like, what? And I looked up and everybody started clapping. And I was like, wow.
So you really didn't hear him say your name?
No, I didn't. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, and it is nice that Coach Clark actually lets you guys go in for your halftime and talk about halftime, and then he lets you guys come on out and walk down the field with your mothers or whoever, walks you down. So that is really nice because some schools don't do that.
No. He told us he would get us out no matter what the score was. He told us he'd get us out, but we definitely wanted to go in, make some halftime adjustments, but he said he would get us out.
Especially since you were down, right, at halftime. That was the first game to Pulaski County, so you were down. So I guess you're lucky that he did let you go out there because I guess he could have been angry and made you stay. That's good.
He was angry.
So you were able to get your crown. That's excellent. And I'm very excited for you and happy for you.
I was excited.
We want to thank you for coming and being on our show.
Anytime.
And you're still in the spotlight from Coach Clark. So that's even better.
Yeah, he might get a little bit better.
No, I don't think so. I think he's happy to have you here. All right, well, Devontae Linville, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we want to wish you the best.
Thank you.
All right. And we'll be right back with the Coach John Clark Show.
This program is brought to you by Hopper's Jewelry, off the EKU Bypass in Richmond.
Natural hazards can be scary, especially for kids. We count on the adults in our lives to help keep us safe. That's why there's a website that can show you and your family how to prepare for all kinds of hazards. You can learn what to do during disasters, like tornadoes, and how to plan for emergencies, like flash floods. Remember, we're counting on you to keep us safe.
Be aware. Learn how to prepare at MadisonCountyEMA.net.
This program is sponsored by Jack Burford Chevrolet, right here in Richmond. And by Clayton Homes in Richmond on Big Hill Avenue. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net, Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. This program is sponsored by First Gear in downtown Richmond and ProSigns in Southern Hills Plaza.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Welcome back to the Coach John Clark Show. I'm Samantha Burford, and back in the hot seat is Coach John Clark.
He left the seat warm, by the way.
He left it warm for
warm
you.
Seat.
Listen, he's got a future in this. He was great.
He's amazing.
Yeah, you're going to miss him.
There's a reason he's a captain on our football team.
That's right.
And a guy we can put in any position we need him in at any time. I mean, there's times, he's played free safety, strong safety, receiver, quarterback, punt returner. You name it.
I called him a man of many hats.
He's going to be missed. There's no question. Yeah. He's one of those guys that's hard to replace in your program. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. And we want to thank Devontae for being with us. We're happy that you guys came. Yeah, makes it even more special. Mm-hmm. Fine young man. So let's get back to the X's and O's. Let's talk a little bit about your coach's perspective on, I guess, just the statistics of the whole season.
Sure. We spent the last week really, I guess the last 3 days really breaking down the season as a whole. There were some things that took place this season that are definitely individual accomplishments that need to be recognized and as a team. As a team, this team broke the school record for most points scored in a season. They scored 485 points. Last year's team set the record of, I think, 446 or somewhere in that regard. So a lot of points went on the board.
Yeah.
Averaged close to a little over 40 a game, I think it was. So that was pretty amazing statistic. Damien's rewriting the record books. Damien's rewriting the record books not only at Southern. Damien's name is going to start to pop up in some of the career numbers and season numbers in the state record books as well. He's already, I think, top 15 or so in career points scored in the state of Kentucky. It's amazing
Impressive.
to know that a young man has another year and is doing that. So that's pretty exciting as well. He also has broke the season single record for rushing yards in a season. Malachi Maxwell was the leading rusher, I think, in 2002 when they had the last big season at Southern when they were, I think that was the year they were 10-2. But Damien surpassed his numbers in rushing yards in a season. Damien was one of the top 2, I think, in the entire state in rushing yards per game, just over 222, I think, 24 yards a game, which is a pretty great accomplishment.
I'm impressed that you that you memorize all
well,
that.
it's funny. I don't know where my keys are right now. I can't tell you where my wallet is.
But if it's
I lost it a week
numbers,
ago.
you know.
But I can tell you that Aaron Sipple had 129 tackles, and that's a pretty impressive number. Casey Dion finished the season with 118 tackles. Casey's a valuable part of our team this year. Casey's a guy you don't hear a lot about. Casey was our second leading rusher, rushed for 450 yards on only 54 carries. That's 8.5 yards a carry. And then was our second leading tackler on the team. Casey was our special teams Mr. Everything. We pinned a punt against Pulaski in this last game that we punted, and Casey dives into the end zone to keep the ball back in the 1 yard line. That's stuff you see on Monday Night Football. Casey will have a great career playing college football somewhere. There's no question where everybody will get a chance to watch him. I'm just excited about his future for him.
What's exciting is you got a whole team full that's getting mentions
sure.
and
we have about
recruiting.
5 to 6 guys that are going to be recruited and have the opportunity to play college football if they'd like to this year, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That'll put us around 11 to 12 guys in 3 years if these gentlemen choose to do that.
Right.
But it was just a great year overall. There were a lot of great things. I think we gave up only 15 points a game this year on defense, which the first year we got here, we gave up over 40. 40 to 15 in 3 seasons is amazing.
I'm not laughing. I swear I'm not laughing.
Well, I was laughing. I mean, we were laughing every day.
Such a big difference. It's such a big difference.
There were times we'd look at each other and go, are we really giving up 50 points in this football game? But we'd never experienced anything like that before as a staff.
Right.
Individually, a lot of us hadn't done that.
I'm not laughing, I swear.
We've come a long way. We've learned how to tackle.
That's what's
Kevin
my
Kling
point.
has done an outstanding job with our defense to get them to where they are. And those numbers are a little skewed because there's games in there where we've played JV guys the whole fourth quarter. Offensively, we would have scored a lot more points if we didn't have a running clock in half of some of our games. Damien's numbers, Damien only had 8 carries against South Laurel. Damien had games where he had 8 and 14 carries still.
Right.
So there's a lot of things in there that change a lot of the numbers.
Yeah.
People don't think we throw the ball much. Last year we were 22% pass. This year we were 26%. We were just over 26% pass percentage. I thought we'd be around 25 pass, 75 run. We were a little over that in pass. Doesn't seem like we throw much. We don't run a ton of offensive plays because we score on explosive plays. You look at us statistically, we had 8 first downs in the ball game last Friday night. Pulaski had, I think, 22. You look at that and you go, well, no wonder they lost the game, but we're not a team that gets in second and mediums and third and mediums much. We tend to get big explosive plays that lead to less first downs and fewer plays throughout the game. So that's okay if your defense gets you off the field. Some interesting statistics. Garrison Watts scored 51 extra point attempts for us this year. 2 field goals. That young man scored 57 points.
And we don't talk a lot about that. I mean, we mention it, but
57
that's
points
important.
is vital.
It is.
That's a big part of your team. 57 points is a lot of points.
It is.
Punt-wise, I think we averaged over 45 yards a punt this year. Last year, that was 30. If you look at that statistically, if we average 45 yards a punt, we average 0 yards a return. 0.
That's incredible.
That's
isn't
45 yards. That's 4.5 first downs the other team has to get to put the ball back where it was.
Yeah.
That changes your team.
Right.
Average starting position for our opponents this year on kickoffs, when we kicked off, was the 24.9 yard line, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. If you can start people, our average starting field position was probably the 36. It's a big difference. That's a first down differential on the field. So those things make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So there were some great things that went on in our program this year, without a doubt.
Right. And overall, you're going to miss those seniors, but overall, you got to be looking forward to next year.
I told a couple of our seniors today, I was sitting down with a few of them in my office this morning, and we're talking recruiting. And right now, I really focus on getting our banquet together, but getting our seniors' films together, numbers together, applications, and if I don't tell them where to go, but if they want an opportunity, we want to help them.
Yeah.
Whether they're playing football or not, we're trying to help these guys get to college and do good things.
Right.
So we're really spending time with these guys right now. Our young guys are chomping at the bit to get back in the weight room full go again right now. I told our guys this morning, I said, you guys have a benefit. Some of the seniors, Devontae, I think was one of them, I said, you guys have a benefit I don't. You're allowed to feel the loss for a while. And I think it's okay. Mm-hmm. You put everything into something, and you put your mind and your heart and everything into something, and you don't achieve it necessarily. Our goal was to win the region. Mm-hmm. They fell short, and we all fell short. We did. But at the same time, it's a pretty amazing thing from where we've come. Mm-hmm. But nobody on our team would tell you they're okay with that. I don't get that luxury. When you are the coach, you have to move on because you have all these other guys who are relying on you to put them in the best position to do this next year and to get back to that game and win it. Mm-hmm. So I told them, I said, you guys are kind of lucky. You get to feel that loss for a while. We don't really have that luxury. Mm-hmm. So
even though your season's over, the guys are staying in the weight room, staying with the
I would say our
nutritionist.
football staff is as motivated right now for what we feel can be done next year than we've ever been as a staff. I've already handed out nutrition plans to some of the guys on the team. Guys, I will meet with our upcoming seniors, our juniors right now. I'll meet with them all individually before Christmas, talk about where we see you now, what we see you becoming, what you need to do weight-wise, how you're going to get there, what it's going to take discipline-wise to get you there, where are your grades, how many times have you taken the ACT to get yourself ready for college. We do all that stuff individually through the next couple months to try to get them in position to be where they need to be.
That's a lot of meetings. You got a big team.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Well.
That's my job.
It is.
So.
Now, the banquet.
Yeah.
I do want to mention that real quick.
December 15th, we'll have our football
15th.
banquet. Our banquet is special. We do it different. I really like the way we do it. We have a lot of awards. Some teams hand out one award. I don't believe in that. I could add 15 awards for this senior group with all the things they did that made a difference. To me, you have to reward the things that make the most impact for getting your team where it is. Mm-hmm. And you need to reward those things because you want the younger guys to look at that and say, I want to be that guy for the next year.
Next season.
So we hand out, I think, anywhere from 15 to 20 awards. It's hard, not everybody that has an impact on your team is going to get an award.
Yeah. Question. It's got to be hard.
I'm not a guy that would ever tell you, hey, the world's a fair place, everybody gets a participation trophy. I'm not that way.
Right.
But it is hard because there's always a couple guys that should get something that don't. And that's hard. That's really hard. And we sat there, we decided awards Monday night as a staff. And we sit there and we go, this guy's not going to get an award. And he's been vital in this program. And that's hard on us. And I don't know if the kids ever know that and the parents ever realize that, but you just can't give everybody every award. It just doesn't work that way. But we give quite a few different awards. We have the guy with the best practice habits, varsity and freshman. We have a guy with what we call the Relentless Award who is just always 100% effort all the time over the years regardless. We have an Eagle Strong Award. That's for the guy that has the right attitude and work ethic in the weight room. We give awards for character. We have what's called the CTR Award, Choose the Right. The players vote on that when they turn in their sheets. Who is the most virtuous player in your program? We ask them, who are you most likely to follow? Who motivates you? We give awards based on those things as well. Because the kids know things that we don't about each other. So we give MVP awards. We have a Comeback Player of the Year award that we give. somebody that's either overcome adversity or maybe didn't have a great year and then had a good year. So we try to award a lot of different things, but you can never get everybody. That's the only frustrating thing about it.
It's a big team.
I always go through the banquet and I think the whole night about someone that's in the room
Did I miss this
that
person?
that is not going to get something tonight that should.
Yeah.
And it bothers me, but it's part of it.
Right. Well, you have time now. Maybe you can, you can always add one.
We talked about that this year. There might be some added awards this year. You never know.
As a mom's perspective,
you never know.
You can always add one.
You never know. That could happen this season.
Well, Coach, is there anything before we close? Anything you want to add?
I just want to say thanks to our fans. I mean, we felt like, I never felt like we had an away game this year. We got on buses to go to team meals when we stayed in town. And then when we went away, we got on buses, and it always felt like the crowd was the same whether we were home or away. Sometimes I'd have to remind myself we're in white, we're not at Southern today.
Yeah.
But our fans were awesome this season. I love that they're there. I love that they're into it. Whether they like the play calls or they don't, or whether they're happy with the result or they're not. 3 years ago, they weren't even in the stands.
Right.
So I'm glad they're there, and I love that they have an opinion and that they want to be a part of it, and we're going to keep continuing to work to bring the community closer to this team and continue to put a product on the field every year they can be proud of.
Well, Coach, I know you have fans. I know we have 2 separate high schools in town, but in our community, I know you have fans in Madison Southern and, of course, in Berea, but you have Central fans as well. People watch the show and they tell us a lot of times, you can't be, a lot of people root for both teams.
Well,
and
I don't know if that's
exciting.
always been the case before. And I think this team is a great example of how you can earn respect.
Right.
And do it the right way. I think people, love us or hate the rivalry. You can't help but watch our kids play and respect the way they play because they play the game the right way.
Right.
They're going to knock you down, but they're going to pick you up and pat you on the back afterwards.
Right.
And I love that about our team.
Right. Well, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
It's been a wonderful season. All of us here at Madison County School Sports, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I know I'm looking forward to next season. Maybe not as much as you, but
give us an off season again. The off season's a big part of it.
Have a little bit of an off season.
Yeah, we need that weight room again.
Well, thank you very much for being a part of our media team, and we want to wish you the best and have a great off season and looking forward to next season.
Appreciate it. We'll be ready to go.
All right. Thanks, Coach. And thanks for watching the Coach John Clark Show. We'll wrap it up, and I think we might have some footage from the Southern football banquet. And after that, we'll open it back up next season.
Awesome.
All right. Hi, I'm Samantha Burford with Madison County School Sports Television, here today with head coach John Clark.
And I'm here to tell you to watch Madison County School Sports Television.
This program is brought to you by Hopper's Jewelry, off the EKU bypass in Richmond.
Natural hazards can be scary, especially for kids. We count on the adults in our lives to help keep us safe. That's why there's a website that can show you and your family how to prepare for all kinds of hazards. You can learn what to do during disasters, like tornadoes, and how to plan for emergencies, like flash floods. Remember, we're counting on you to keep us safe.
Be aware. Learn how to prepare at MadisonCountyEMA.net.
This program is sponsored by Jack Burford Chevrolet, right here in Richmond. And by Clayton Homes in Richmond on Big Hill Avenue. This programming is sponsored by State Farm Insurance, Jerry Goble in Richmond, Luxury Pet Service, Richmond, Premier Rehab in Gibson Bay, CSEP, MadisonCountyEMA.net. Richmond Tourism, Time Warner Cable, Madison County Schools, ScenicCabin.com, Faith Created Assembly of God Church, and Tatum Enterprises. This program is sponsored by First Gear in downtown Richmond and ProSigns in Southern Hills Plaza.
Hello everyone, I'm Madison County School Superintendent Elmer Thomas, and I want to thank you for watching Madison County School Sports Television.
Follow Madison County School Sports Television on Twitter, or like us on Facebook, MCS TV, and of course, watch all of our videos on YouTube.
Hello everybody, I'm David Sullivan for Rosenbaum Communications. Rosenbaum Communications is a full-service television production and media company. We've produced projects and provided services all over the world for such clients as ABC Sports, NBC Sports, CBS, ESPN, Amway International, Time Warner, and many regional and local clients such as East Kentucky Power, Center College, Georgetown College, KET, the Kentucky Coal Association, Keeneland, and the Kentucky School Board Association, and many, many more. Give Rosenbaum Communications a call and let us quote and plan your next media project. No project is too small. Our client list may be impressive, but our service is very personal and budget friendly. Visit our website at rosenbaumcommunications.com. Let us show you how to get started. We look forward to hearing from you soon.